hard to capture, extravagant, resurrect the track and it's militant. And I react like a convict and start killing. It's manifested. The gods work like appliances, dealing in my psyche.
Yo, what's going on, guys? So before we get into today's video, just gotta say that today's video is gonna be brought to you by Beautiful Halo. And I gotta say, if you guys want to purchase some really awesome anime merchandise, everything from Boruto / Naruto to Black Clover, My Hero Academia, Dragon Ball, click down in the description box and use my link below in order to do so. It's also a really great way to help support the channel. As a bit of an added bonus, a lot of their anime merchandise, like you saw in the video just now, is on sale right now, and there's free worldwide shipping on anything over $29. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into today's video. Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explained here, and today I want to have a conversation with you guys about whether or not Boruto Uzumaki has surpassed Shinki in the Kara Actuation arc. And I feel like this is something that we definitely need to have a conversation about, because I've seen quite a few people bringing this up in the comment section down below, whether it be people asking this based on how well Boruto did against Deepa, or rather how well Boruto did not do against Deepa, and what Shinki was able to do, seemingly pushing Deepa to the point where he had to overexert himself in their fight. And so I want to address this question, and I want to say something that's going to be a bit controversial. I think that a lot of people, they focus on the fact that Boruto, when he used the purple lightning against Shinki, he had to use that to break Shinki's iron sand. That's absolutely true. He needed to use that, but I think what a lot of people miss is the fact that Boruto, when he was fighting against Shinki, for a brief moment, Boruto had reached the limit of what he was able to do with his own chakra reserves. And Boruto has a moment where he is using his own lightning style jutsu, and Boruto was already cracking Shinki's iron sand. If Boruto would have had just a little bit more chakra, Boruto could have actually cracked the iron sand. You see it, a lot of people miss that moment right there. And I think that that in itself shows that while Shinki definitely has better combat experience, I also think Shinki was just a bad matchup for a character like Boruto, who is somebody who needs to be close quarters, whereas Shinki can fight from afar. But when they went mano a mano, Boruto, before he used purple lightning, did display that the gap isn't as big as some people might believe. Now again, I think that Shinki is stronger, so I'll go ahead and say that I think Shinki is stronger, but I don't think it's by leaps and bounds like a lot of people think. So with that being said though, like when you look at how they did against Deepa, I think that you can start looking at this and you can take out the matchup stuff where Deepa and Shinki are two people who mainly are better at long distance fighting, given Deepa's ability to shoot projectiles and Shinki's ability to use the iron sand for defensive and long range purposes. But I think that when you take out the variables in terms of fighting styles, I think that there's enough there for us to start looking at who's stronger and by how big of a margin. When you look at what they've done, I think that one of the clear indications that Boruto right now has not in his base caught Shinki is the fact that, let's just look at the fact that Shinki had to double reinforce his iron sand. It took every bit of his chakra to withstand the constant barrage of attacks that were coming from Deepa during their battle. Whereas Boruto was taken out in only a few direct hits when it came to his battle against Deepa. And when you look at Boruto landed a couple of pretty half decent shots on Deepa, but they did absolutely nothing against him. This is Boruto when he's not using the karma seal. And I think that this is where we need to have that conversation about, at this point, with this level of karma, has Boruto surpassed him? Now this is where this gets very interesting, because the fact with the karma seal is the fact that as Boruto's karma is beginning to assimilate with his body, we've seen on a couple of occasions that Boruto, his karma does affect his chakra control, because when he's training, we see it in the anime where he's training, I believe in episode 157 or 158, and Boruto throws a shuriken and he completely cracks the wood and he ends up piercing the tree, and Boruto himself is surprised by the amount of power he's putting out. And then when you look at the battle against Tsukio, who is really Shojoji, there are moments in that fight, and I talked about it in the episode review, there were moments in that fight where it really looked as if Boruto was having trouble using some of his jutsu, and we know that Karma and the Mujina Bandits arc of the manga did interfere with some of Boruto's jutsu before. So I think that when you factor in Karma, obviously as Boruto's karma begins to resonate with his body more, he's obviously gonna have surpassed Shinki. But I think that just with the level of non-control that he has, if Boruto accidentally draws on that karma, then he's obviously going to surpass Shinki. I think that the other factor, because we're talking about the anime, is you have the Jogan. And we know from the time slip arc, you have this moment where Boruto was able to crack Urashiki's horn when he tapped into the Jogan, got that chakra boost from the Jogan, and he uses Rasengan to crack the horn. Not even Shinki was able to do any type of damage like that. So I do like the fact that what they've essentially done in this arc is they've given us an opportunity for multiple characters to go up against Deepa, so we can start seeing where the various characters are at. I think that this is one of those times where we have an idea. When you look at Konohamaru, when Konohamaru uses the Dragon Flame Jutsu, which is a very advanced fire style jutsu, Deepa had to turn his entire body into carbon, whereas when he fought against Chocho, he just only used it on his hand. When he went against Boruto, he only barely used it in select places, whereas when he fought against Shinki, Deepa had to use both of his hands when he did so. So we can start seeing where these various characters are starting to match up. And I think that right now, if you just kind of put them on a pedestal, and again, I don't care about the power scaling aspect of this, but I do think that from a lore perspective, I think that they're setting up a few different things that tie into the manga. So we're seeing the very slow progression of Boruto beginning to tap into that monumental amount of power that's sleeping inside of him via the Karma Seal. And I think that by showing somebody like Shinki do a better job against Deepa, and if you think like I do that at some point Boruto's gonna tap into the Karma Seal very briefly as a way to bring down Deepa, then I definitely think that they're giving us some idea of how much of a boost Boruto's gonna get with the Karma Seal. Manga readers already know how big of a boost it is, but it's important to slowly start establishing this for the anime. So my question to you guys is, at this point in time, where would you give Shinki power on a scale from 1 to 10, and where would you give base Boruto on a scale from 1 to 10? And if you read the manga, where would you give Karma Seal Boruto on a scale from 1 to 10 in terms of power? Now, to give you guys like a baseline, we're just gonna say 5 is gonna be your average gaining, and we're gonna say 10 is Naruto and Sasuke level. So you guys have at it down in the comment section below. But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching all until then. Have an awesome day, guys.